They came into the GEICO PBA team shootout as one of the favorites. So why is Team Ebonite International still looking for a win? Are Chris Barnes, Tommy Jones, and the rest of this heavy-hitting team ready to light it up as we begin this 4th of July weekend? Find out next. The GEICO PBA team shootout is a battle between 4 different manufacturer-selected all-star squads. Storm Products sends out a team that features Pete Weber and Norm Duke, while all-time great Walter Ray Williams Jr. is the 900 Global headliner. Ebonite International has 4 U.S. Open champs on its roster, and Brunswick features a 20-time Women's Pro titleist and a 63-year-old Hall of Famer. It's a round-robin battle for the PBA Manufacturers Cup, each team trying to earn the top seed in the championship round. The greatest bowlers in the world returning to Six Flags Great Adventure in Jackson, New Jersey. Welcome to the GEICO PBA Team Shootout. Hello again, everybody. This is Mike Jakubowski laneside alongside a 13-time winner on the Lumber Liquidators PBA Tour, Randy Peterson. Randy, coming into this event, the team that perhaps was the best on paper faces an 0-2 hole. Why is that?
Well, you're talking about Ebonite International. Arguably, you look at this team from top to bottom, and they're as solid, or maybe the best team in this competition. I went up and talked to Tommy Jones earlier. I said, why are you guys 0-2? He said, quite frankly, I think it's my fault. I haven't gotten it done in the 10th frame. We should be 2-0. Instead, they haven't won a game. When I talked to team captain Jason Couch, he said, well, you know what? I think it's because we have no team momentum. He says, and I've also missed 2 spares in 2 games. The bottom line is, though, they're bowling on their favorite pattern, the shark pattern, and I think that they can really use that pattern to their power strength. That is their biggest strength, and I think that they're really going to right the ship on this shark oil pattern.
Here's the format for the GEICO PBA team shootout using the Baker system. Round-robin match play. Teams bowl 2 matches against each of the other teams in a home and away match. The home team chooses the oil pattern and the lane. Championship round seeding will be determined by the win-loss record at the end of the 12 matches. The lineup for 900 Global reads like this. Leading off, Michael Haugen Jr. will bowl the 1st and 6th. Robert Smith, the 2nd and 7th. Down the line to Steve Jarris and the Hall of Famers on the back end, Voss and Walter Ray Williams Jr. For Ebonite International, Mike Scroggins lefty leads off as the lefties on top, Randy, followed by O'Neill, Jones, and Barnes.
Maidmer, the Baker format, alternate shots. The player that starts will use his talents to try to strike in the 1st and 6th frame. That second bowler will bowl the 2nd and 7th frame, and so on. The most important thing, however, in this announcer's mind is choose your anchor bowler wisely. That's the bowler that will bowl the 5th and 10th frame. And remember, your team's never out of it because of the endless 10th frame.
Lots of good choices to bull anchor on these teams. Haugen can't shake the 7.
It's getting closer, guys. It's getting closer to that first strike.
This long oil pattern is tough for the guys to go straight. Like Michael Haugen Jr., he's got to be very precise. A little bit right of target. He doesn't have the revolutions to get his bowling ball to hook back in the pocket. That was an excellent shot that just didn't hook up quite hard enough.
Right up the boards and the 7 pin is a spare for Michael Haugen Jr. Now, Mike Scroggins will lead off for Team Ebonite. Mike says, I like to keep my line simple. The straighter, the better for me on any condition.
And I think that's what made him so great this past season, was especially when we watched him at the World Series of Bowling, he was able to play a lot of the oil patterns very, very similar.
That's the way he likes it. Straighter is greater for Scroggy. 1st frame for Ebonite. Strike for Ebonite. Randy, let's examine the wood.
Well, you know, Mike, I know the wood because Lumber Liquidators helps me to know the wood. This is the shark oil pattern, the longest of the named oil patterns at 43 feet length. So what does that mean? Well, that means the outside part of the lane is flooded. It's like really deep out there. So the players are forced to play in the middle part of the lane. And anytime you play in the middle part of the lane, you have to throw the ball away from the head pin. That favors power. And speaking of power, how about this guy?
Robert Smith, 2nd frame, working the spare. How about that? Strike for Smith.
Don't hurt me, though.
Hey, Jason Couch. How big of an advantage is it to have a power game on this shark oil pattern?
Well, I'm pretty sure Robert Smith's a prime example with the big Kong cable on that last shot, but longer pattern, you need a little bit more of a rev rate, that's for sure.
Thanks, Jason.
Interesting thing to watch here is Couch said Mike, as in Scroggins, will always be on the outside of me, referring to the line. So let's get a look at where Couch plays in relation to Scroggins.
Well, this is, in my opinion, the best power lefty this side of Steve Cook that I've ever seen.
Comes up high, gets the 8 out, leads to 6.
I mean, just a great career that Jason Couch has had. The only player to ever win back-to-back-to-back Tournament of Champions. I can't remember a guy that hooked it and had the success on that side of the lane like Jason Couch. I know John Gant, big hand back in his heyday, but they've never been quite as successful as Jason Couch, except for the Cookie Monster, Steve Cook.
Jason Couch, 15-time titleist. You would expect he'll make a Hall of Fame speech someday. For Ebonite, looking up to clean up here in the second frame. No worries on the 6th spare, even match here.
All right, guys.
Team Ebonite 0-2. Will they get off the schneid against 900 Global? When we return to Six Flags Great Adventure, we'll explore that and much more. Come on back. The GEICO PBA Team Shootout, hosted by Six Flags, brought to you by GEICO. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. And by Lumber Liquidators, hardwood flooring for less.